It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
Get unlimited data for $25 a month when you add a line to the Cricket Unlimited 2 plan. Plus, get a free smartphone when you switch. All on a network that covers over 99% of Americans. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
College Football Playoff Selection Show is presented by AT&T.
Coming down the stretch here, now Kirk's going to be calling one semifinal game and also the national championship. I'm going to make these other guys pick who's going to win the games and win the national championship. Give me the thing you're most looking forward to in these semifinal games before the picks.
I can't wait to watch Baker Mayfield in the Rose Bowl against that.
Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Welcome to the Flats of Atlanta, Georgia. McCamish Pavilion, home of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, who tonight will play host to the Tennessee Volunteers of the Southeastern Conference. Good Sunday evening to you and welcome. Mike Morgan alongside Damian Fishback. And Damian, this is the kind of game we love in the month of December. SEC.
His body into you. You know what? Multiple 30-point games as a freshman. The only other two guys to do that, Bernard King and Allen Houston. Enough said with Grant Williams. But on the other hand, when you look at a guy from Georgia Tech and Ben Lammers, this guy, ACC Defensive Player of the Year last year, most improved player in my opinion last year as well, but has been playing injured, I think. If he's at 100%, it gives Georgia Tech a much better chance to take care of business here at home.
And he will jump center against the 6'11" Kyle Alexander. Speaking of improved, one of the most improved players in the Southeastern Conference plays for Tennessee, and they win the opening tip. We're underway. Tennessee in orange, Georgia Tech in white. ACC SEC matchup. The Volunteers led by Grant Williams, as you heard Damian describing, and also getting some terrific shooting from Jordan Bowden, who comes in shooting an incredulous 61% from downtown. They are led by Rick Barnes, a tremendous career for that man now in his third year with the Vols, and by far and away this is the best lineup he has possessed since his time in Knoxville.
Yeah, we know about Rick Barnes and his Final Four run at Texas. Since he's been in the SEC, I think he's done an outstanding job of rebuilding this program.
Noah Kogi for Georgia Tech. He is still out with the injury, but they've got some veterans, including Lammers and Todrick Jackson, who hit the game winner on a driving layup against Northwestern. Jackson gets the long rebound. Georgia Tech not a good three-point shooting team, just 33% last year, 32% this year. Inside, it's Gay, pivots, fires at home.
Tremendous start for this young basketball team. Mike, let's remember, they have 11 underclassmen on this team, and so even though they had some success last year, Coach Pastner is really like it's his first year this year in rebuilding his team.
Bone has one rattle out. Offensive rebound for Tennessee. That was the biggest concern for Josh Pastner today when we talked to him at shoot-around, and that's the other big concern. How do you defend Grant Williams?
Well, what he likes to do is exemplify his touch. That's what makes him good, Mike. You know, he has tremendous touch around the basket, a fantastic mid-range jump shooter.
Here's the freshman Alvarado. Alvarado out of Brooklyn, New York, trying to carry on that tradition of great point guards for Georgia Tech out of the state of New York. Josh Pastner, reigning ACC Coach of the Year, 7 years at Memphis, now in his second year at Georgia Tech. Surprised everybody with the season that Georgia Tech had last season.
Love Coach Pastner and the way he coaches his guys. Other than Coach Cal, the only coach in the past 8 years to have or not go without 3 games without losing it, Mike.
Alexander tears away the rebound. This is Bone on the handle, trying to feed Williams high post. Williams banging bodies, had it stripped away.
Nice.
Here comes Alvarado on the break, and there's a foul as Jackson was hacked. He'll go to the free throw line.
Outstanding start by Georgia Tech, getting out in the open break, trying to get some early offense. And this is a team, I think, that Georgia Tech, they want to run when they want to run. off of live ball turnovers like that or when they get early offense, but I do not think they really want to get up and down against Tennessee.
And Tennessee, certainly a team that can run a little more size this year. As Jackson, the lefty, triggers the first and connects. Todrick Jackson still getting back in the flow. Missed some games early on, averaging over 14.6 rebounds a game.
Well, he was elated when he hit that last-second game winner, right, Mike, against Northwestern. You talk about the ebbs and flows of college basketball. We've seen it in just 1 month.
Yes, we have. A 2-for-2 trip for the senior. Full court pressure here by Georgia Tech. Bone at times has been a little bit shaky handling the basketball. Shot clock under 10. Kick out pass. Here's Schofield on a three. Nothing but air.
That's a win. Nice job of Georgia Tech. This Tennessee team accustomed to running offense, a really good offense, and that's why a lot of teams like to play them zone. But right now, they're not. There's no flow to their offense. They really don't understand the defense thus far that Georgia Tech's playing.
Jackson on a crossover. Jackson takes it in the trees, and it spins off the rim. Looked like that one was halfway down. Tough break for the Yellow Jackets. Inside, this is Alexander, and he does get a favorable bounce.
Well, he is taking tremendous strides every game. Remember that big three he hit against Purdue?
That's right.
In that overtime, he's taking nice strides for that team.
And gets a rejection here. Back inside, Lammers pump fake, and then is hammered by Alexander. You mentioned it, Kyle Alexander has come a long way. And so is that man, Ben Lammers.
Well, we all know what he did last year, right? Preseason, all ACC team picked by the media this year, and has turned an ankle early in the season. Last game.
I had some quality minutes playing some point guard. He was a tremendous scorer at Howard. Scored nearly 2,000 points. And this year asked to be more of a distributor in this Tennessee offense. Jackson takes it strong again, that time rejected by Williams. They work it around the horn, open three set up, left short, and here come the balls. Turner on the run out. Ahead to Daniel.
You'll see a lot of players, Mike, with Tennessee. They have quality depth, not just depth, multiple guys who can put up 20-plus points on this basketball team.
Williams, jab step, fires up another air ball. 2 air balls for Tennessee in the opening stanza. Alvarado, stop and pop. No. Tapped up a couple of times, and finally Williams rips down the rebound. Turner on an open three, and Tennessee's ice cold here to start things off.
Well, they're sped up a little bit. Right now, they're so anxious to get early offense when the zone is not set up. It looks like they're rushing their shot.
And they're 0 for 4 from downtown. Inside, and there's a foul from behind Turner. Gay will go to the free throw line. Frenetic pace to the opening stanza. Yellow Jackets 4. Yellow Jackets 6, Volunteers 4 here in Atlanta.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Aleve Direct Therapy. Get drug-free, deep-penetrating, lower back pain relief.
MLS Cup, Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN.
The 9-2 Steelers have won 6 straight. Now the Killer Bees go on the road to take on their division rivals in the Queen City. Monday Night Football, Steelers, Bengals, tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
They say you don't choose the app. The app chooses you. It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
Everybody say Warriors, Warriors. Everybody say Warriors, Warriors.
It takes hard work, grit, and determination to become a professional football player like Luke Kirkland. But it only takes 15 minutes to see how much you could save on car insurance with Geico.
Sweden's greetings from Volvo. This holiday season, celebrate the beauty of family with our holiday offers on cars like the XC90. With more intuitive safety innovations, you can keep the ones who matter most safe.
Something inside me was awake.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. Fulfill your destiny.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Rated PG-13.
That tablet you wanted seemed pretty expensive. So I got you one no one's ever heard of.
Don't shop like everybody else. Shop eBay for the best deals on the best brands. eBay.
When kids get really excited about my children's books, that's the best reaction.
I know things about great white sharks.
What's great about Paint 3D, it's exciting to see a shark come to life and come off the page. With the Windows 10 PC, to be able to draw right on the screen and create something three-dimensional is amazing. It's exciting to turn it and light it and have these different effects. With my Mac, I can't do that. When you see that the work creates a feeling in a kid, it feels great. And it's addictive. You want to keep doing it, you know?
DirecTV has been rated #1 in customer satisfaction over cable for 17 years running. But some people still like cable, just like some people like free shaken sodas. Switch to #1 rated customer satisfaction over cable. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Low expectations by everybody coming in, but not for the Yellow Jackets. They go to the NIT. They shock Indiana in the first round win. It's a sellout crowd here. I was there for that game. Unbelievable atmosphere. They just kept on winning. They beat Belmont in the second round, then Ole Miss in the quarters. They go to the Garden for the Final Four of the NIT, defeat Cal State Bakersfield before finally succumbing to the Horned Frogs of TCU. But they finished the year 21-16, pulled off several shocking wins in conference, including an opening conference victory against the Tar Heels of North Carolina. And it looks like for the time being, Damian, the excitement for college basketball is back here at Georgia Tech.
Oh, it's at an all-time high. I mean, when you think about Coach Josh Pastner coming back, we mentioned it early, only 2 coaches to go 3 games without actually losing 3 games in a row, him and Coach Cal. That's impressive to me. Second winningest active coach as far as 40 and younger. What I love most about him is you never see him upset. I mean, I don't think the guy's ever frowned. He's never in a situation where he's not smiling. He's so positive, so optimistic, and I think that's infectious, not only with his team, but throughout this community here at Georgia Tech.
Former national champion with the Arizona Wildcats, 7-year head coach of Memphis, and now loving life here in Atlanta. Both teams off to sluggish shooting starts. Alexander jump hook shot. He's added that to his game this year, but not that time. Gay inside. A couple of pump fakes and a left-handed layup.
Beautiful. Coach Josh Pastner said at the shoot-around, he said, we can't be bruisers with this team. Now, I don't think they want to get in the track meet, but every chance they have to use their speed when they're going from defense to offense, they want to take advantage.
There's a silencer, a 3 from the corner, knocked down by Lamonte Turner. He's had a terrific start to the year, shooting 44% from downtown.
Yeah, I mean, he's very impressive, and he's a streaky shooter. And when he gets on a good streak, that means danger for opponents. Tech has to make sure they keep their eyes on him right now.
Tennessee 43% as a team from behind the arc. Strong drive by Jackson. Boy, he is a terrific penetrator.
Now we got a little flow to this basketball game. They've taken the lids off the rim finally.
We needed some flow after that opening stanza. Volunteers playing some catch on the perimeter, facing this Georgia Tech zone. Daniel inside. Williams, 7 on the shot clock. Williams turns and fires and hits.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, guys that are shooters, Kyle Guy at Virginia, tremendous shooter. He is that way, but he just does it around that paint area. Tough shots, 6 to 8 feet, 8 to 10 feet. He's got a tremendous touch, and it's hard to guard.
Reach and foul on James Daniel, the transfer from Howard. Checking in now, Jordan Bowden for Tennessee. Now going back to Grant Williams, he's really a great story. He was not highly recruited at all. He got some looks from Ivy League schools and was a guy that was just hoping he could play at this level. Rick Barnes took a flyer on him, said he reminded him of P.J. Tucker, who he coached at Texas, later made the NBA, another kind of shorter, big man with a wide body, and he's been sensational. 3 on the way, 2 strong, and guess who got the rebound? Grant Williams.
Yeah, well, Coach Rick Barnes also talked about his athleticism, right? He doesn't show it all the time, but if you look at rebounds, you'll see it often.
There's another 3 from Tennessee. Jordan Bowden connects on the triple. He has been en fuego the entire season.
And that's why I think, you know, he's shooting 60%. That's why I don't think if you're Georgia Tech, you want to track him.
Nifty move there by Justin Moore, who missed a couple of games due to suspension earlier in the year, the 6'4" sophomore. Deep 3 on the way. Knocked down. Tennessee lighting it up now. That's Bowden. He's got 6.
Now 16 of 25 from behind the three-point line on the year. You think you better find him, Mike?
I would say you need to find that man before he gets to 70% from behind the arc. Eye-popping numbers from Jordan Bowden. 6'5" sophomore out of Knoxville. Lammers wraparound pass into the corner. Nice swing to Haywood. Haywood threw it right at Lammers' feet. And a kick basketball.
There's tremendous efficiency going on with both teams. You see how they're moving the zone. Listen, that's not a bad closeout, but you have to know who you're guarding, right? That's scouting report. You have to be there on Jordan Bowden on the catch. And that time, Haywood just a tad bit too much space.
Bowden leading the Southeastern Conference in three-point shooting. Had a great game and a close loss to Villanova as well. He hit his first 3 from downtown against the Wildcats. Inside. And it will be Georgia Tech basketball. 13 on the shot clock.
How about Villanova, right? Brunson, it's so good to have a veteran guard in your lineup. Coach Jay Wright just doing it year in and year out. Another team who's going to be hard to beat in the Big East.
Another good-looking crop of teams this year in the Big East. I just had St. John's down there in Orlando. Chris Mullen's got a squad that's on the rise. Follow-up slam, top floor. That time by Curtis Haywood, the pride of Oklahoma City. Under 12 to play. And another kick basketball. It'll be Tennessee ball when we come back.
Yeah, right now we talked about a dogfight, ACC versus SEC. You better box out because Curtis Haywood making you pay the price.
They say you don't choose the app. The app chooses you. It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
Nope. Yep. Ain't no stopping. Nope. Steph Curry with the shot. Yep. Ain't nobody better than my team. Nope. Money like Draymond Green. Yep. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors.
MLS Cup, Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN.
The 9-2 Steelers go for their 7th straight win on Monday Night Football. Steelers, Bengals, tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Get unlimited data for $25 a month when you add a line to the Cricket Unlimited 2 plan. Plus, get a free smartphone when you switch. All on a network that covers over 99% of Americans. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
When kids get really excited about my children's books, that's the best reaction.
I know things about great white sharks.
What's great about Paint 3D, it's exciting to see a shark come to life and come off the page. With the Windows 10 PC, to be able to draw right on the screen and create something three-dimensional is amazing. It's exciting to turn it and light it and have these different effects. With my Mac, I can't do that. When you see that the work creates a feeling in a kid, it feels great. And it's addictive. You want to keep doing it, you know?
Party season is Chick-fil-A catering season.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a swing set standoff. And we covered it. July 1st, 2015. Talk to Farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Williams, let's go on a fast break. LeBron or Durant?
Durant.
Favorite emoji?
Probably this one.
What is that?
Looking at you weirdly.
Okay, I'm not going there. All right. One word to describe Coach.
Comedy. Comedy, yes.
Favorite place to play on the road?
Florida.
Coming to the Gators, whatever that means. My man Grant and the Vols.
All SEC freshman a year ago, and Grant Williams just continues to impress. Back-to-back 20-point games over in the Atlantis tournament. He's a young man that, again, the ceiling hasn't even been hit yet.
Well, I was laughing because you think about Rick Barnes. I was at practice earlier this year, and I remember there was a guy that turned it over, and one of the assistant coaches, he said, just let it happen, just let it happen. And Coach Rick Barnes said, and it won't happen if you keep turning it over. He does not allow them off the hook. He is definitely a prankster and a jokester.
Tennessee still getting open threes against the zone. What do you think about Tech staying in the zone?
I love it. Right now, it's got Tennessee slowed down. If you were to look at this game, we're looking at possibly a 30, maybe 35-point half. I think that pays dividends because Coach Josh Pastner said their DNA is defense. They're a defensive team.
Moore with 5 to shoot. Probes the baseline, deflected pass. Gonna have to fire it up. Wright just throws up a heave and it rattles out. But there's Haywood. Did he step out of bounds? Official along the baseline blew the whistle and says Tennessee basketball.
Rarely do you see Tennessee not box out. But give credit to Lammers. He's done a tremendous job of trying to use that length at 6'10". And he's trying to rebound outside of his range. Looks like Josh Pastner over there talking to Ron Groover about that call maybe.
Georgia Tech, big win over Northwestern earlier this year at home. Tennessee has already defeated the top 25 Purdue team. And North Carolina State, their only loss was to Villanova. And as you mentioned, Damian, they actually led that game at the half.
Yeah, they were up 12. And then Villanova came out kind of a 6-0 run. Coach Rick Barnes letting his team kind of play through it, but that led to a 23-2 run, and Tennessee couldn't quite recover.
Williams. And another offensive rebound for Tennessee. They might be one of the better rebounding teams offensively this year in the Southeastern Conference. Don't forget, Tuesday we'll have the 23rd annual Jimmy V Classic from Madison Square Garden. Our first game is number 4 Villanova and number 15 Gonzaga at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Then old Big East rival square off as Syracuse takes on UConn. Both games are on ESPN and the ESPN app. Mike Morgan, Damian Fishback here in Atlanta, the McCamish Pavilion. Georgia Tech down by a point to Tennessee. And a nice play off the inbounds leads to an easy bucket for Lamonte Turner.
Yeah, beautiful teardrop. Now Coach Rick Barnes trying to extend the pressure a little bit. He said he wanted to make this game 94 feet. They have not done that at this time.
Wright feeling it from long range and knocks it down.
Beautiful. A confident stroke and one that you expect. Again, very young team. Moses Wright, he has a 7'2" wingspan and a tremendous touch as well.
Young man out of Raleigh, North Carolina, who only played a couple of years of high school.
And here's what I'm talking about. You can never speed him up. He takes his time. Whether you pressure him, he'll get his body into you, or if you give him space, he uses his athleticism to jump up and over taller defenders.
Jackson thought about it.
Nice decision by Jackson. Tennessee trying to speed Georgia Tech, change the pace of this game right now.
Schofield hounding right, but gives up the back door. That was a great backdoor cut. I mentioned how tightly Schofield was defending. Great maneuver.
Well, anytime you're on the defensive end, you need to see ball and man. That time, Schofield lost his man first and then lost sight of the ball. Like you said, a tremendous cut. In basketball, they teach you to cut all the time, but it's a difference between a lackadaisical cut. Both of these teams do a nice job of cutting hard and with a purpose.
There's two plays that have been going on in the game since the beginning of time that still work today. Pick and roll and give and go.
Listen, the game is simple. Coach Josh Pastner was saying that earlier.
Wright splits the freebies, and we're back to a one-point game.
Every time they score, it allows them to set up in their pressure. Different types of pressure, though. Three-quarter court pressure, and then they'll back up into that zone again.
Daniel left alone on a three. Got it.
Woo. Tough. He looks like he scored over 1,900 points. That was pretty easy.
As a matter of fact, he has. Going back to his days at Howard. Tennessee applying more pressure. Alvarado hounded by Daniel. Alvarado on a blow-by, but has it blocked. A flat-footed block by Walker, and then a foul on Tech.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. Actually has 26 turnovers, or 26 assists and only 10 turnovers in the first 6 games. So not characteristic for Alvarado, but got under control. It's what we talked about, right? Tennessee slowly but surely trying to speed this young Georgia Tech team up.
And again, something we can say about Tennessee now that we have not been able to say the last couple of years. They have length. I mean, when they go with some of their bigger lineups, they are one of the longer teams in the Southeastern Conference.
Multiple guys 6'7" or taller, and they have depth to go along with that length, Mike.
Georgia Tech switching now to man-to-man, looks like. Tennessee stagnant, 5 to shoot. A bit of a force there, rims out, another offensive rebound. Pump fake, pull up, shot up, rims off. And another offensive rebound. How about Daniel on a three? Too strong. And this time it's Lammers tearing away the rebound.
Nice job by the senior, by the veteran. We talked about him at the outset. He's going to have to carry this young team. Nice job of securing that rebound.
Lammers averaging 14 of 8. Battling an ankle injury. Moore. Tough pass and offensive foul. Nice job holding his ground by James Daniel.
And that's something that I've seen in James Daniel. He comes as a scorer to this basketball team. The last few games, and particularly in their previous game where they won 20-plus points against Mercer, Daniels did a phenomenal job of really pressuring the basketball, giving up his body. He has certainly bought in to what Coach Rick Barnes is selling.
And a whistle away from the ball. It'll be against Georgia Tech when we come back. Volunteers have it. Tennessee up by 4.
DirecTV has been rated #1 in customer satisfaction over cable for 17 years running. But some people still like cable, just like some people like free shaken sodas. Switch to #1 rated customer satisfaction over cable. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Nope. Yep. Ain't no stopping. Nope. Steph Curry with the shot. Yep. Ain't no nobody better than my team. Nope. Money like Draymond Green. Yep. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors.
They say you don't choose the app. The app chooses you. It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
MLS Cup, Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN.
The 9-2 Steelers have won 6 straight. Now the Killer Bees go on the road to take on their division rivals in the Queen City. Monday Night Football, Steelers, Bengals, tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Sweden's greetings from Volvo. This holiday season, celebrate the beauty of family with our holiday offers on cars like the XC90. With more intuitive safety innovations, you can keep the ones who matter most safe.
Something inside me was awake.
I've seen its raw strength only once before.
Fulfill your destiny. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Rated PG-13.
When kids get really excited about my children's books, that's the best reaction.
I know things about great white sharks.
What's great about Paint 3D, it's exciting to see a shark come to life and come off the page. With the Windows 10 PC, to be able to draw right on the screen and create something three-dimensional is amazing. It's exciting to turn it and light it and have these different effects. With my Mac, I can't do that. When you see that the work creates a feeling in a kid, it feels great. And it's addictive. You want to keep doing it, you know?
It takes hard work, grit, and determination to become a professional football player like Luke Kirkland. But it only takes 15 minutes to see how much you could save on car insurance with Geico.
Become very commonplace now for college basketball teams to get this type of opportunity. The Yellow Jackets going to China in the offseason, took part of the Pac-12 China game versus UCLA, an unbelievable trip and experience. Something that you've seen a number of teams do. That's Disney over there in China.
Worldwide.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, invaluable experience, a chance to really get your guys and some of the newcomers accustomed with one another. A good way to extend the season. Did you ever get a chance to go on some of those trips?
We did. It does wonders for your team as far as bonding, giving guys confidence, allows you to play together as a unit. Chemistry, it's so important, and both of these teams had a chance to do that.
Of course, one of the guys they had on that trip was Josh Okogie, still nursing that finger injury. I hope to have him back by the start of conference play. Empty trip for Tennessee. Georgia Tech down by 4 with the basketball. SEC ACC matchup. One of those games that certainly could be a resume builder for whoever winds up victorious. Lammers again, little give and go. Jackson on a backdoor cut.
Much better job of keeping his eye on man and ball by Chris Darrington. And there's Josh Okogie right there. Obviously had a sensational freshman year. All freshman team, and you're talking about the guy who really led them in scoring. You're talking about a leader on this basketball team, and so right now, frankly, Coach Pastner is fortunate to be where they're at as a unit.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy that gave you 16 points a night and was an all-ACC freshman selection, third team all-ACC in general, was a huge part of that big run of the NIT. So they're trying to survive without his scoring punch. Georgia Tech not scoring a lot of points. There's a turnover on Tennessee. See what Okogie did last year, 16 and 5. He shot 45% from the field. All ACC freshman. Played for Team USA in the Under-19 World Cup in Cairo. Suspended for the first 6 games this year due to a rules violation. And then the compound matters, the finger injury. So he's going to have to work his way back in, not just into the lineup, but in conditioning. Great shot in traffic that time by Jackson, who has 6.
Jackson
Lammers with a rejection.
You know what? It's interesting how the offense and defense, especially with young teams, right? We mentioned Georgia Tech had 11 underclassmen. They seem to go together. And Lammers doing a nice job of using weak side and strong side to block shots. One of the best in the country, 3.6 per game.
The reigning ACC Defensive Player of the Year. He's got a chance to finish second all-time in block shots. Probably not going to be able to surpass Alvin Jones, who has an astronomical total of block shots in his career. Sorting things.
Walker Jr., who really played best amongst the big men in their trip overseas.
Rick Barnes just yelled out, "Hey, Chris," shrugged his shoulders and said, "Hey, that's not going to get it done." He killed the dribble in the paint and got caught in a yellow jacket sandwich.
Coach Rick Barnes is a huge accountability guy, both on and off the floor.
Guy who's gotten the most out of his talent, going all the way back to Providence and Clemson. Great run at Texas. Tennessee happy to have him in Knoxville. Gay up top with 7 on the shot clock. Needs to find a guard. Now under 5, just going to throw up a desperation heave. Offensive rebound, pinball action. And the loose ball out of bounds to Georgia Tech.
Rick Barnes doesn't like that call from Jamie Lucky. He's kind of giving him the stare and having a little conversation. Let's take a look at it.
Well, off of Georgia Tech.
Jamie did miss that one.
That's a bad miss right there. I can see why Rick Barnes was unhappy, but sometimes karma has a way of working itself out.
Is that what you call that?
Yes.
It's called karma.
Ball don't lie. Tennessee gets it back.
Get it back with a foul.
Kind of what we expected, a close game and somewhat of a low scoring game, which you would think would benefit Georgia Tech.
And that's the fans looking at the replay here, and they did not like what they saw.
Williams might have gotten away with a clear out. Doesn't matter. He lost it. Alvarado into front court. Under 6 minutes to go, first half. Gay hounded by Williams. Too much dribbling for Gay. Finds himself in trouble again. Lammers face up, pull up. Missed it short, and an over the back foul on Gay.
Yeah, nice job that time by Grant Williams boxing out. Earlier this year, I told people that I thought Tennessee could become the Wichita State of the SEC, and the reason why are plays like that, whether it's going after a loose ball, boxing out, defending on rebounds, taking care of the basketball, taking good shots. That's why they have been successful year to date.
Turner. And a whistle away from the ball, and that'll go against Georgia Tech. I believe Alvarado on a hold. Our Week 13 Monday Night Football matchup is between bitter AFC North rivals Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. Lead the 9-2 Pittsburgh Steelers against A.J. Green and the Cincinnati Bengals. Monday Night Countdown kicks off our coverage at 6 Eastern on ESPN. 1-1, free throw up and in for Jordan Bone. Bone is a young man who's got so much potential. One of the fastest first steps you'll see. They want him, Damian, to take over the team when he's out on the floor. They want more leadership out of Jordan Bone.
Yeah, and he's shooting it much better this year. 50% from the three-point line. His speed, though, is what separates him. Probably the fastest point guard, and I'm thinking about the rest of the conference. Probably, if not the fastest, one of the fastest point guards in the conference.
And now he's got James Daniel, the transfer, to kind of back him up a little bit. Provide Tennessee with some much-needed depth, something they haven't had the last couple of years. Alvarado inside to Lammers. Lammers bellied up by Alexander and stepped on the baseline. Tremendous defense by Kyle Alexander.
And it looks like Jamie Lucky called an offensive foul that time on Lammers. And we didn't have the Jamie Lucky's view.
They actually said he stepped on the baseline, which, according to that replay, I don't think he did. Bowden on a pull-up. Rims off, tapped up by Williams. Grant Williams, 8 points, and continues to be a force on the glass. And now Bone on a foul, got tangled up that time with Todrick Jackson.
Well, you love guys that rebound outside of their area. They always anticipate a miss. That's what Kevin Love said of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And listen, fortunate that time, but you have to go. That's what young players often forget, Mike. They don't even go to the glass. They're not accustomed to going to get the rebound every time. That's what Tennessee's doing today.
Each team in the bonus both ways, but a critical miss on a 1-and-1. Tennessee up 6 with the basketball. Good ball movement, sets up the open three. Perfectly done, and Lamonte Turner drains the three.
A lot of weapons. A lot of weapons. That's what we talk about when we say quality depth. When you look at the scouting report, you truly have to prepare for multiple guys for the Tennessee Volunteers. Bottom line, this Tennessee Volunteer team is for real. On the road, hostile environment, but Turner is helping the Volunteers turn the corner, up 9.
Guess what I just got? Hello, guys. That's a big phone. Oh, my phone.
You built a flame that warms my heart, but your lying and cheating has torn us apart. And I'm moving on.
There are tons of incredible Cyber Monday deals available on Amazon this week, with deals across every department and free shipping on over 100 million items. Good times. The Amazon Cyber Monday Deals Week, now through December 2nd.
We'd be robbing Charlotte Motor Speedway. You ready? No, not really. Would you give me my arm, please? Is it this one?
Logan Lucky. Own it now.
Discover card. Hi, I'm just looking at my account and I've got all this extra cash back.
Yep. That's your cashback match. Only Discover will automatically match all the cashback new card members earn at the end of their first year.
You matched everything I earned this year?
Yeah.
Woo! More money, more money! Ah!
It's all very exciting.
I'm gonna spread the news.
Spread it wide.
It's cashback match, people!
You know that. You all work here.
New card members get a $1-for-$1 match at the end of their first year, only from Discover.
When kids get really excited about my children's books, that's the best reaction.
I know things about great white sharks.
What's great about Paint 3D, it's exciting to see a shark come to life and come off the page. With the Windows 10 PC, to be able to draw right on the screen and create something three-dimensional is amazing. It's exciting to turn it and light it and have these different effects. With my Mac, I can't do that. When you see that the work creates a feeling in a kid, it feels great. And it's addictive. You want to keep doing it, you know?
It's 6 a.m. 40 million Americans are waking up to a Gillette shave. And at our factory in Boston, 1,200 workers are starting their day building on over 100 years of heritage, craftsmanship, and innovation. Today, we're bringing you America's #1 shave at lower prices every day, putting money back in the pockets of millions of Americans. As one of those workers, I'm proud to bring you Gillette quality for less, because nobody can beat the men and women of Gillette. Gillette, the best a man can get.
We're watching the ACC on ESPN. Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research, a tremendous, tremendous cause. Mike Morgan alongside Damian Fishback. Tennessee on a 7-0 run. The Volunteers with its largest lead, now 9 points, 29-20 our score.
Dick Vitale has done a tremendous job
Sure
with
has.
the Jimmy V Foundation. We know that it's something that has touched every single person, a horrible disease and tremendous fight that so many people across the country, both at ESPN and outside of ESPN, are in that fight.
It is V Week on the ESPN networks. Your chance to make a difference. Baseline jumper, Georgia Tech needs to make a difference. Stop the bleeding a little bit. Big shot by Wright.
I like this young freshman. Nice touch. Actually has grown 4 inches. Put on 40 pounds since he's got here.
And then the Yellow Jackets on a turnover, leading the way, swatted away by Alexander. Alvarado had it returned to sender.
How about that reaction? I don't know if I've seen a big guy react that quick. Pretty impressive by Kyle Alexander. Georgia Tech going man-to-man. Pastner doing a nice job of switching defenses. Tennessee very efficient, though, in their man-to-man offense.
Turner, shot clock at 3, hoists one up. And was it deflected or just a straight air ball? They'll say straight air ball.
And this is what we're talking about. Nice job of creating offense off of defense. Tech getting out in the open break. And how about that response time? A block party here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Kyle Alexander, young man out of Ontario, has come a long way in his development. Great shot there by Curtis Haywood. So Georgia Tech getting some good production from their freshmen.
Well, that's the way they can not only stay in this basketball game, but win this basketball game. Create turnovers, get out in the open break before Tennessee sets up. And Coach Rick Barnes calls a timeout.
Timeout on the floor, 2:18 to play. Tennessee up 5.
The 9-2 Steelers go for their 7th straight win on Monday Night Football. Steelers, Bengals, tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
MLS Cup, Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN.
Nope. Yep. Ain't no stopping. Nope. Steph Curry with the shot. Yep. Ain't nobody better than my team. Nope. Money like Draymond Green. Yep. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors.
Rick Barnes, while we were away, giving Almonte Turner a little bit of, let's just say, coaching instruction. Not happy with that shot selection.
He gave him an encyclopedia of instruction. You can see the look on his face. He is not happy about waiting to the last minute. 6 seconds left. That's an eternity in basketball.
Daniel going to spell some point here. Shot clock again, under 10, down to 5.
Whoa, good hands.
Williams turns, faces, and fires it home.
That is not as easy as it looked. That ball would have sailed out of bounds with a lot of players.
Right.
Spider-Man hands, and then had the presence of mind to put it up and knock it down.
8 points for Grant Williams. Alvarado on a force. Williams blocked that one. And then Alvarado backdoor cut, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Beautiful. Offense off of defense, and the back cut's how Georgia Tech's scoring. This is what I'm talking about right here. A nice back cut, getting into the big body of Kyle Alexander. And then before, you know, the Euro, nice job by Curtis Haywood of getting into the teeth of the defense and a soft touch.
Alvarado out of Brooklyn, New York. You go back to those Bobby Cremins teams. He loved those point guards from the Big Apple. Kenny Anderson, Stephon Marbury. Not bad, huh?
Not bad at all. Look at some of the players that come out of here. Some bigs, too. Derek Favors still doing well at the next level. Thaddeus Young.
They have had some talent come out of this program over the years, and now trying to get back to some glory that they enjoyed for several years under Bobby Cremins. Had a Final Four run under Paul Hewitt. Blind pass inside, and reverse layup is good. Nice move by the freshman Derek Walker.
Well, he's looking to earn more minutes. And his length and size is going to help them again. When they went overseas this summer, he was the best big coming back. And now he's having to earn his time and get back into the rotation.
Out of Kansas City, Missouri, Alston wheels and deals. Lammers around the horn. Alvarado on a three. Too strong. Williams clearing up another rebound. 5 rebounds to go along with the 8 points for Williams. And then Williams with a stuff and the foul. What a play by Grant Williams.
Had a similar play like that against Mercer. Did we say this guy has underrated athleticism? Woo-hoo! Over 6'10", that's 6'7" versus 6'10", both of them. I don't know if that's top 10, but it's got to be close.
That is a double facial by Grant Williams in the trees. Yeah, let's declare it now. SportsCenter top 10 nominee. And Tennessee is
possession here for Georgia Tech. They wanted to, could go a quick 2-for-1, but quite candidly, the way the offense has been going, I would just take my time and get the best shot.
no foul called on the play, so just the 2 for Williams. And about a 12-second differential. Game clock to shot clock, and an unforced turnover there on Alvarado.
At least it was a dead ball turnover, right? Live ball turnovers. Tennessee could have got it and went against a limited defense. This way, at least Georgia Tech gets to set up their defense. We'll see if they go man or zone, and it looks like they'll go back into that 3/4 court pressure.
Coming up at the half, John Brickley, Tom Crane, Dalen Cuff. The college basketball halftime report, UCF upsetting Alabama, St. Francis versus Notre Dame, Tulane and North Carolina in Chapel Hill. First half highlights and stats.
Because of the zone that Georgia Tech plays, if I'm Tennessee, I go earlier than I usually would go. I'd go about 12 seconds and try to get some activity.
Shot clock at 7. Step back, jump shot by Bone, no. Offensive rebound, Tennessee. And I believe he might have stepped on the baseline. I don't think Rick Barnes was overly pleased with that shot from Jordan Bone.
Well, that's a shot that you can get any time, and Dick Vitale has been talking about it even more this year than usual, about young people taking quality shots, and that was just a look that you could get any time in the game of basketball.
Alvarado, 2 seconds, 1 second, good if it goes. He got fouled, and it almost went in. A foul with 0.2 on the clock.
Freshman foul. That's all that is. Every coach in America has lost some hair because of these type of fouls, and he actually grabs Curtis Haywood because he didn't want to hurt him. But you talk about an opportunity to swing the momentum back. If you're Georgia Tech, you could use all 3 of these free throws.
That could have been a chance at a 4-point play. As it stands, Haywood will pull the trigger on the first of 3 and knock it down. A 78% free throw shooter is the freshman out of Oklahoma City. It's a big play for Georgia Tech at the end of the half. Tennessee has pretty much had the momentum the entire first half, and now you get 3 freebies here and a little bit something to feel good about going into the locker room. 3 for 3, made it look easy.
Huge. I mean, gigantic momentum swing for Georgia Tech. Gives them life coming out in the second half.
Not any time to do anything here with .2, and that'll send us to intermission. Tennessee dominating the first half for most of the way, but Georgia Tech cuts it to 6. 35-29, our halftime score. Stay tuned. Coming up after the break, we'll take you to the college basketball studio.
The 9-2 Steelers have won 6 straight. Now the Killer Bees go on the road to take on their division rivals in the Queen City. Monday Night Football, Steelers, Bengals, tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
They say you don't choose the app, The app chooses you. It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
MLS Cup, Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN.
Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Ain't no stopping. Nope. Steph Curry with the shot. Yep. Under pressure, is he choking? Nope. Splash Brothers. Yep. Ain't nobody better than my team. Nope. Money like Draymond Green. Yep. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors.
Powerful light, powerful darkness. On December 15th, fulfill your destiny. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Rated PG-13.
There are moments in life where the smallest adjustments can make a big difference. Braun beard trimmers have up to 39 length settings, which adjust to the nearest ½ millimeter, giving you total control of your style. For the moments that matter to you, Braun, designed for what matters.
So what do you want?
Like bespoke denim jorts, blowfish toxin face wash, faux fur headphones, oh, like a really goth puppy, a plot of urban farmland, fair trade glitter, that's really important to me, rose gold knitting needles, maybe a book.
We've come a long, long way together, through the hard times and the good. I have to celebrate you, baby. I have to praise you like I should.
All that you are. The Forevermark Tribute Collection. Forevermark. Beautiful, rare, responsibly sourced.
MLS Cup, Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN.
The 9-2 Steelers have been living up to the standard.
Do your job today. We do it together. We are an unstoppable force.
And once again look like AFC title contenders.
Let's go! Don't blink! I ain't blinking, don't you blink!
The Killer Bees go for their 7th straight win as they take on A.J. Green and their division rivals in the Queen City. Monday Night Football, Steelers, Bengals, tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
I love sports. I just wish they could be with me always. They say you don't choose the app. The app chooses you. It is everything I could ever want in a sports companion. It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
That's okay.
I never thought I could find an app that loves sports as much as I do. Until now.
At Desmond Howard, your famous trophy pose is my screensaver.
Post something nice about your rival with #SweetTalk, #Sweepstakes for a chance to win a trip to the College Football National Championship.
The zip, the buzz, the clip, the clean sweep. Technically, it's just a trim, the do-over, the dang done, the nose nip, the neck notch, the around the ear edge over, the taper, the tweed, the touch-up, and the total takedown. For any man and every man maintenance mission, cultivate the confidence. Be the man. Conair Man.
This season, get 2 lines of unlimited data for $80 a month on the Cricket Unlimited 2 plan. Plus, get 2 smartphones free when you switch. All on a network that covers over 99% of Americans. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
go up against number 3 Georgia in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day in the semifinals, as the title game is January 8th. As this has been the Land Rover Halftime Report.
I love sports. I just wish they could be with me always. They say you don't choose the app. The app chooses you. It is everything I could ever want in a sports companion.
That's okay. This is why we practice.
I can stream the games and shows that I love. And it's there wherever and whenever I need it. I never thought I could find an app that loves sports as much as I do.
Mississippi Mass Choir.
Until now.
Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Ain't no stopping. Nope. Steph Curry with the shot. Yep. Under pressure, is he choking? Nope. Splash Brothers? Yep. Ain't nobody better than my team. Nope. Money like Draymond Green. Yep. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors.
MLS Cup, Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN.
The 9-2 Steelers go for their 7th straight win on Monday Night Football. Steelers, Bengals, tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Another touchdown for the rookie.
I'm not sure what this is.
Are they a bobsled team?
Oh.
Switch to Geico, and you'll feel like celebrating too.
Joy, I want a rabbit. What about you?
Well, I won an iPhone. Make sure you get that on Verizon. It's the most awarded network ever. And if anyone asks, I want a bigger train next year.
Give the gift of any iPhone and get up to $300 off.
Oh, Cookie Trey, oh, Cookie Trey, you make every party more tasty.
Party season is Chick-fil-A catering season.
B-Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
6-point game at the half. Tennessee on top of Georgia Tech. SEC, ACC clashing here at the McCamish Pavilion in Atlanta. Mike working alongside Damian Fishback. Happy Sunday evening to everybody out there. Damian, kind of what we expected in some respects. Low-scoring game. Tennessee certainly with an edge in size in the paint, but if you're Georgia Tech, you got to feel fortunate. That first half dominated by the Vols for the most part, and yet it's only a 6-point deficit.
Well, those 3 free throws at the end of the game really helped. But listen, Georgia Tech did their damage in the paint. A nice job of moving without the basketball by multiple players on their basketball team. What I like best, you say Headway knocked down those 3 3-pointers or 3 free throws. Well, the 3-pointers for Tennessee was what got them the edge before those 3 free throws. Lamont Turner doing a nice job there. But listen, we know who the guy is on this basketball team. It's Grant, I'm the man, Williams. That's right, big body doing big boy stuff, finishing at the rim. Love his basketball game. We'll see what happens in the second half.
Anything Georgia Tech does differently to start the second half?
Well, I think they have to do a much better job of continuing to attack the bank and taking care of the basketball. Only 5 turnovers. I think that's what kept them in the game. Tennessee lethal in the open court.
And you see points off turnovers. Advantage Georgia Tech 9-2. That kept them around. We'll see if Georgia Tech can improve on that shooting here in the second half. Tennessee man-to-man to start things off. Alvarado with a runner. And there is Schofield to rip down the rebound, and he accidentally hit Alvarado in the face, and Alvarado is down in pain.
Tennessee foul charge to number 5.
Oh man, caught him with an elbow right in the chin, and they will no doubt take a look at that. To our left, the replay crew at the DB Sports system will have a chance to make sure this was not intentional or flagrant in nature.
Well, it's unfortunate for Alvarado, obviously. You take that on the chin, but I do not think there was any ill intent there. Looked like he kind of lost the ball, and then he was trying to kind of move his arm to continue to go. Tell you what, you hate to be Alvarado, though. That's a big elbow coming at you.
I mean, Admiral Schofield is put together at 6'5", 238 pounds. I'm not sure he even knew Alvarado was there. So it'd be pretty hard to assume that that one was flagrant in nature. Officiating crew talking now with both coaches to let them know what the verdict is here. What I liked about that, they did not take a long amount of time. I think the biggest complaint about replay is typically the length of time it takes.
Sure.
That did not take very long at all. And it did not rise to the level of a flagrant foul.
I think it's the correct call.
I do too.
Painful call.
Yes, it is.
But the correct call.
If you're Jose Alvarado, it doesn't make you feel any better, but he's still in the game. And Georgia Tech has the basketball.
First half, Georgia Tech did a very good job of moving without the basketball, using the pressure defensively at Tennessee against them to back cut and go to the rim.
Strong take to the basket by Haywood, but misses wildly. Bone. Inside Williams. Bullish in the paint, takes it in on Gay and draws the foul.
It's about as good as you can defend him. I thought he did a nice job of not giving too much space, but not getting too close, because Grant Williams likes to spin, but if he doesn't have you for the spin, that's that athleticism we're talking about. He can just elevate and go over top of you, and you have to respect it. And then he'll try to use the shot fake as well to get you in the air and go by.
He's so good at carving out space in the lane. If you give it to him in the high post, he's going to get it eventually on his own into the low post. And then what do you do?
The best thing that you can do for Grant Williams, which is difficult, is keep him from getting the basketball where he wants it, around that block area, around the paint. He hasn't been 100%, but he is the go-to guy. I believe he's got to get more touches on the interior.
Posting up here on Alexander. Gets it. Jump hook shot. No. Got the look that he wanted.
I like that look. He's just got to convert.
Tennessee up by 7, showing some patience here in the half court. Stop and pop off a curl. Beautiful shot by Jordan Bowden. He has 8.
He did stop and pop, didn't he, partner? Wow. On a dime. I don't know if Jordan Bowden's getting enough credit, not only for his efficiency, but good size as well. And this is what we're talking about. Lammers, he has to be involved for this team to be successful. Nice touch from the perimeter, and we call that the shooter's roll. And then on this end, Alvarado with no time whatsoever. You have to come off of that screen trailing and have a hand up against Jordan Bowden.
Perfect textbook form by Jordan Bowden on his jumper. Jackson. Inside, it's Lammers. Wheels, deals. Got the basket plus the foul.
A little Dirk Nowitzki out here. I like that, Lammers. There you go. Ankle's feeling pretty good now off the one leg against the outstretched arms of Kyle Alexander. That's what I think you have to do. If you're Georgia Tech in the half court, when the defense is set, go for your veteran. Go for your preseason all-ACC first-team selection.
8 points for Lammers, and Georgia Tech makes it a 6-point game. Bone. And a nice box out by the Yellow Jackets.
Solid. Not a bad look. A quick look by Tennessee. But I like that look by Jordan Bone, who's shooting 50% from behind the three-point line.
Alvarado. A pull-up. Rejected by Bone, out of bounds. And a timeout on the floor.
Well, we knew that this Georgia Tech team was young, but with Coach Josh Pastner in the building, we knew they were not going to quit. Last year's ACC Coach of the Year battling here at home.
I love sports. I just wish they could be with me always. They say you don't choose the app chooses you. It is everything I could ever want in a sports companion.
That's okay. This is why we practice.
I can stream the games and shows that I love. And it's there wherever and whenever I need it. I never thought I could find an app that loves sports as much as I do.
Mississippi Mass Choir.
Until now.
MLS Cup, Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN.
Steelers, Bengals, tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Ain't no stopping. Nope. Steph Curry with the shot. Yep. Under pressure, is he choking? Nope. Splash Brothers. Yep. Ain't nobody better than my team. Nope. Money like Draymond Green. Yep. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors.
And Joy, I want a rabbit. What about you?
Well, I won an iPhone. Make sure you get that on Verizon. It's the most awarded network ever. And if anyone asks, I want a bigger train next year.
Give the gift of any iPhone and get up to $300 off.
When kids get really excited about my children's books, that's the best reaction.
I know things about great white sharks.
What's great about Paint 3D, it's exciting to see a shark come to life and come off the page. With the Windows 10 PC, to be able to draw right on the screen and create something three-dimensional is amazing. It's exciting to turn it and light it and have these different effects. With my Mac, I can't do that. When you see that the work creates a feeling in a kid, it feels great. And it's addictive. You want to keep doing it, you know?
Dip, 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 filet, 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 Chick-fil-A.
Party season is Chick-fil-A catering season.
Well, we talked about the importance of these games, SEC, ACC, maybe the two best conferences in the land, and Damian Fishback chalking up some of the quality wins already for the SEC out of conference.
Yeah, these are some of the teams that are making noise in November, that have made noise. Remember that game, Florida-Gonzaga was a huge one.
Best game of the year for me.
Best game of the year thus far, I agree. And then in the ACC, we all saw Duke and Coach K go 40 minutes of zone against Michigan State. And the way Michigan State's been playing, it was a tremendous idea. Virginia, Notre Dame, that great game against Wichita State, tale of two halves. Virginia Tech getting a nice one on the road at Ole Miss as well.
And it goes back to some of the topic we talked about at the top of the broadcast, and that is, while everybody certainly gets geared up more in late February and March, these games at the end of the year count just as much when it comes to all the metrics, including RPI. So a game like this, if you're a bubble team, could be the difference between getting into the big dance and not.
Sure. Well, when you look at these teams, obviously both want an opportunity to dance, and what a pass. You got to finish that game. Extra pass, so I'll take it. I'll take it.
2 threes from Ben Lammers. Lammers with 11.
Georgia Tech refusing to go away. They know how important this basketball game is.
That ignites the crowd here at McCamish. Double team. And stepped on the baseline, did Williams.
You're talking about the trifecta. Look at how many jerseys are drawn into the paint. They shrink the defense and then throw it back out. Lammers a nice job of showing that soft touch from behind the three-point line, Mike.
Ben Lammers came into this game. He did not attempt a single three-point shot. He's made 2 of them here in this second half.
Engineer, right? He calculated it.
That's right.
He knew the perfect shot and the perfect timing and knocked it down.
He's a math whiz, and he went ahead and crunched some numbers. Said it's time for me to bury a couple of triples. 3 is greater than 2. Even I know that math. And nobody would confuse me with a mechanical engineering major, I can assure you of that.
Well, there have been a lot of Georgia Tech players to come through and initially have mechanical engineering as their major. He is going to be the first one to actually complete the 4 years of mechanical engineering.
That is getting it done in the classroom. Alvarado trying to angle it in. The Lammers, bad pass, poked away. Here comes Tennessee with Darrington. Darrington finds a wide open Bone, passed up the 3. Saw Lammers coming in late.
I actually like that decision by Bone. You're on the road, momentum right now going to Georgia Tech. Take some time off the clock and get you a good look.
Schofield, tough shot, tapped around, offensive rebound. Walker, no, and a tie up, and that'll be a jump ball. And the arrow goes to Georgia Tech. We're actually on the same side of the possession arrow here, kind of a unique twist to what we're used to with our broadcasting station. The good news is we can hear Rick Barnes yelling at the officials just a few feet away. We're not going to reiterate everything that was said, but we can hear it. Nice take all the way to the basket by Curtis Haywood.
Here we go. SEC versus ACC.
And a big run for Georgia Tech here in the early going of the second half. Turner on a step back 3. Got it. What a shot by Lamonte Turner.
He wants it. When the game is on the line, you won't have to look for Turner to take that shot.
And that puts an end to an 8-0 run by the Yellow Jackets. And timeout, Georgia Tech with 13:11 to play. 4-point game here in Atlanta.
Well, we talked about Georgia Tech unwilling to quit. In this basketball game, they are ferocious, and the Yellow Jackets are fighting down 4.
Guess what I just got? Hello, Dad. That's a big phone. Oh, my phone.
You built the flame that warms my heart, but your lying and cheating has torn us apart. And I'm moving on.
There are tons of incredible Cyber Monday deals available on Amazon this week, with deals across every department and free shipping on over 100 million items. Good times. The Amazon Cyber Monday Deals Week, now through December 2nd.
We'd be robbing Sean Motor Speedway. You ready? No, not really. Would you give me my arm, please? Is it this one?
Logan Lucky. Own it now.
Discover card. Hi, I'm just looking at my account and I've got all this extra cash back.
Yep, that's your cashback match. Only Discover will automatically match all the cash back new card members earn at the end of their first year.
You matched everything I earned this year?
Yeah.
Woo! More money, more money! Ah!
It's all very exciting.
I'm gonna spread the news.
Spread it wide.
It's cashback match, people!
You know that, you all work here.
New card members get a $1-for-$1 match at the end of their first year, only from Discover.
When kids get really excited about my children's books, that's the best reaction.
I know things about great white sharks.
What's great about Paint 3D, it's exciting to see a shark come to life and come off the page. With the Windows 10 PC, to be able to draw right on the screen and create something three-dimensional is amazing. It's exciting to turn it and light it and have these different effects. With my Mac, I can't do that. When you see that the work creates a feeling in a kid, it feels great. And it's addictive. You want to keep doing it, you know?
It's 6 a.m. 40 million Americans are waking up to a Gillette shave. And at our factory in Boston, 1,200 workers are starting their day building on over 100 years of heritage, craftsmanship, and innovation. Today, we're bringing you America's #1 shave at lower prices every day, putting money back in the pockets of millions of Americans. As one of those workers, I'm proud to bring you Gillette quality for less, because nobody can beat the men and women of Gillette. Gillette, the best a man can get.
With Damian Fishback, Mike Morgan here in Atlanta. Closely contested game. Tennessee of the Southeastern Conference, Georgia Tech of the ACC. These two teams have become quite familiar with one another of late. Last year, Tennessee blew the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets out in a convincing win in Knoxville. It's the third time in the last 3 years they have met. They'll finish off this 4-game contract next year in Knoxville. And Tennessee has actually won 9 out of the last 11 meetings between the two schools.
I think there's a consensus that the ACC has been the best conference year to date, but the SEC is not far behind. The SEC and the Big East, and actually American Conference has been a sleeper conference. UCF going in and beating Alabama here today.
Offensive foul called on Todrick Jackson. I like to see, I mean, we all like to see these matchups selfishly as fans, not just announcers. You know, we have those built-in rivalries. Florida, Florida State, Georgia, Georgia Tech. I think Tennessee, Georgia Tech would be a great game every year. I hope they play more after the 4 years are up.
I agree. And how about that Florida, Florida State around the corner?
That'll be a big one.
Battle of the Sunshine State.
That'll be in Gainesville last year. It was in Tallahassee, and Florida State got the better end of Mike White and company. Bone trying to make something happen on a runner. Back iron unkind. Gabe brings down the rebound. Here comes Alvarado.
You know, Tom Crean in the previous, I think it was 2 games ago, kept talking about Northwestern doing a good job of getting it towards the baseline of the zone. If you notice, Tennessee's pretty much kept it at the top of the zone and have really just been bailed out by the three-point shots most of the time.
Lammers. Count it. Ben Lammers has come alive here in the second half. The big man with 13. No, an offensive foul. And Josh Pastner is irate.
Well, let's take a look at it. He's outside of the circle.
That's a tough call.
It's a tough call, and if you're Josh Pastner, that emotion, that competitive edge, we talked about he was all smiles earlier. He's competing and he's fighting for his basketball team right now, realizing how important that momentum swing is. Frankly, though, I do believe it was the correct call from this angle from where we saw it.
Bone, kick out pass, Schofield on a three. Oh man, is that a momentum changer? First bucket for Schofield.
Well, and he knows it, but obviously Coach
Conference. 7 of 17 today. Lammers working on Williams. Step back jump shot. Ben Lammers.
That's how you answer. Ben Lammers, the veteran, 6'10", shooting it like a shooting guard today.
2 threes and a fadeaway deep 2 for Ben Lammers, who has 13. And nice shot by Darrington right on Lammers. The shot blocker took it right to him. Jackson. The lefty missed it. Tapped out of bounds. It will be Tech basketball with 10:59 to play.
Well, we just had the ACC versus the Big Ten challenge. This is the SEC versus the ACC challenge. They didn't like that call. Pastor said, come on, how you gonna let my team do that? And Ben Lammers is saying, I got you, coach. Sit back, relax. We're only down 7.
MLS Cup, Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN.
The 9-2 Steelers have been living up to the standard.
Do your job today. We do it together. We are an unstoppable force.
And once again look like AFC title contenders.
Let's go! Don't blink! I ain't blinking, don't you blink!
The Killer Bees go for their 7th straight win as they take on A.J. Green and their division rivals in the Queen City. Monday Night Football, Steelers, Bengals, tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
They say you don't choose the app. The app chooses you. It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Ain't no stopping. Nope. Steph Curry with the shot. Yep. Under pressure, is he choking? Nope. Splash Brothers. Yep. Ain't nobody better than my team. Nope. Money like Draymond Green. Yep. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors.
Something inside me was awake.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. Fulfill your destiny.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Rated PG-13.
Get unlimited data for $25 a month when you add a line to the Cricket Unlimited 2 plan. Plus, get a free smartphone when you switch. All on a network that covers over 99% of Americans. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
10:59 to go. We could be on our way to a close finish. Georgia Tech has had back-to-back close finishes. This was against Northwestern. Todrick Jackson at the buzzer, driving layup. A 1-point win for the Yellow Jackets here at McCamish. But then the very next game against Grambling. Grambling down 1 point, and it's off of Georgia Tech. Haywood and Lammers both getting a piece of it. And Grambling gets credit for the bucket and a 1-point win, 64-63. We might have ourselves another buzzer beater here today, my friend.
We possibly could. We possibly could. Joey Brackens told us earlier, a loss at home like that by a 150-plus team hurts twice as much. Reiterates the importance of this basketball game for Georgia Tech.
An and one for Todrick Jackson, who was the hero of that fantastic finish win over Northwestern.
How about this first step? And then a little finger roll up above the outstretched arms of Grant Williams and Coach Josh Pastner. There goes that positivity, that optimism clapping his hands.
Last year, Jackson out of Tifton, Georgia, one of the best sixth men in the ACC. And this year he's going to take on a larger role now as a starter. And the lefty knocks it down, a 3-point play to make it a 4-point game.
Georgia Tech continuing to change defenses, not allowing Tennessee to get comfortable. We've seen zone. They're back in their man-to-man now.
Schofield left alone on a three. Got
Big
it.
shot.
Admiral Schofield, he shoots 43% from three this year, and the big man has 6.
Yeah, scored double figures in 5 of Tennessee's 6 games this year. An instrumental piece, versatility, as well as has some veteran leadership as a junior on this basketball team.
Older brother O'Brien played college football at Wisconsin in the NFL, and has a younger brother General, who's a standout baseball player. Foul on Tennessee as Georgia Tech really aggressive here in the second half. Lammers on the outside and Todrick Jackson taking it into the lane.
Well, typically you don't see this against a Tennessee team. They do a fairly good job of staying in front. In that second half versus Villanova, Brunson did a nice job of getting to the rim, but give Jackson credit. He has been relentless at attacking the paint.
Missed that one, 1 for 2. 6-point game.
Plenty of time for Georgia Tech right now. This is the end where they've been most productive, not only getting stops, but turning Tennessee over and creating offense off of that.
Williams on Lammers. Premier matchup of the game. Nice pass. And an easy layup for Darrington, but all set up by the look from Williams.
Yeah, I think you had all 10 eyes of Georgia Tech focused on Grant Williams at that time.
The lead swells to 8 for Tennessee. 9.5 to play here in Atlanta. Haywood lobs it down low to Lammers, and that's going to be a hold foul on Grant Williams.
Good call by Jamie Luckey, wanting to make sure that they do not impede cutters. Another focus, about 26 different rules this year for officials, and wanting to make sure that they allow the offense to continue to have that freedom of movement.
And that is the 3rd foul on Williams, so he'll take a seat on the bench with 9:24 to go.
Let's remember this time period. 8-point lead for Tennessee. Grant Williams goes out of the basketball game, and see who steps up.
Lammers now with a game-high 14 points. You mentioned the 26 rule changes. That's the most we've had in a couple of decades. And I know some people will say, well, they call it too tight. There's too many whistles, but I like freedom of movement. I don't want to watch games in the low 50s, Damian.
Sure. Well, and coaches have adjusted. You see coaches playing a little bit more zone this year, right? And it's because you have high school players, so much youth in college basketball, and they have to learn to defend without fouling. Use their feet versus using their hands.
Couldn't have said it any better. Defend with your feet, not your hands, and you'll be fine. Pull-up jumper by Bowden rims off. Schofield flying in for the rebound. Quick hands all over the place. A scrum, and then Alvarado comes away with it. And a foul on the play. And that'll go against Tennessee. That's on Schofield.
Now Rick Barnes having a conversation with Ron Groover. Felt like his guy got fouled on that particular play. That's just good hustle, going after the basketball that time. Alvarado, the smaller person in that particular play, but the more testy and feisty player coming up with the basketball.
Well, keep this in mind now with 8:59 to go. We just saw Williams go to the bench with his 3rd foul. That's the 4th foul on Schofield. So 2 of your premier post players will have to have some serious pine time here in the final 8:59.
Foul trouble definitely can affect you. Colin Sexton got in foul trouble early in that Alabama game, and Alabama not able to pull it out.
On Tuesday, we'll have the 23rd annual Jimmy V Classic from Madison Square Garden. Our first game is Villanova and Gonzaga at 7, and then Syracuse, UConn, old Big East rivals, will square off both games on ESPN and the ESPN app. An offensive rebound for the Yellow Jackets. Lammers directing traffic, finds Alvarado. Alvarado, tough shot. Alexander got a piece of it. Another block for number 11 in orange. That's his 4th. Barrington. That's a walk. Either a walk or a foul. Yeah, a travel for sure. He landed on that foot before he got it on the deck.
Well, Chris Darrington always seems to move expeditiously. He only goes at one speed, and I believe right now Tennessee almost, even though they're ahead 5 points, it's almost like they're feeling the pressure.
Darrington out of Toledo, Ohio, a junior college All-American. Nice ball movement again. Jackson, and
offensive foul.
Offensive foul on Jackson. Nice job by Alexander.
Well, anytime you see a guy 6'11", willing to stand in there and give up his body, 6'11" and only 220, might I add, saved 2 points, because that was probably a layup that time for Haywood.
Outside of the restricted arc area, good position by Kyle Alexander, improving his play both offensively and defensively. Darrington, backdoor cut, lost the handle, scooped up by Alvarado. Full throttle, front court. Alvarado thought about it and now gets out of a Tennessee sandwich.
Seen Tennessee play every game this year just about. Never seen them thrown off this much offensively, and it's because of the changing defenses by Coach Josh Pastner.
Lammers, nice move. Pass inside, and a chance at the free throw line for Curtis Haywood, all set up by the beautiful feed from Ben Lammers. 7:43 to go, coming down to the wire here in Atlanta.
MLS Cup, Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN.
Everybody say Warriors, Warriors.
The 9-2 Steelers have won 6 straight. Now the Killer Bees go on the road to take on their division rivals in the Queen City. Monday Night Football, Steelers, Bengals, tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
To take advantage of this offer on a Volvo S90, visit your local dealer.
There are moments in life where the smallest adjustments can make a big difference. Braun beard trimmers have up to 39 length settings which adjust to the nearest ½ millimeter, giving you total control of your style. For the moments that matter to you, Braun, designed for what matters.
Keeping a friendship alive for 200 years requires mutual respect, genuine affection, and the right beer.
Georgia Tech only down by 6 points. Ben Lammers, who was 1 for 1 career three-point range, has 2 here today.
The mechanical engineer would say, that's 100%. I can't do much better than that. He showed us the soft touch, comes from a very athletic family. Father played at Texas A&M. Brother Nick played soccer at Colorado College. And the sister, Allie, is actually on an academic scholarship to Texas A&M. And so if you're wondering how this guy's so good at basketball while pursuing a mechanical engineering major, that tells you why.
And a game-high 15.7 rebounds for Lammers. 10 points now for a good-looking freshman in Curtis Haywood, the 6'5 freshman out of Oklahoma City. 1 of 2. How about another rebound for Lammers?
Big boy rebound.
Lammers hits the deck, another jump ball, and this time the arrow will go to Tennessee.
We'll see what Coach Josh Pastner comes out of this timeout with, and now he switches it up again. Now they go back to what looks almost like an extended 1-3-1 zone.
As an offensive player like yourself and a guy who's known to shoot the basketball very well, how does that affect you and your ability to find open shots?
You hate it. It never allows you to get comfortable. What you hope is that you have plays that you can run against man and zone, but the way Georgia Tech runs their zone, it's very difficult. You have to continue to try to get the basketball inside and be an attacker at all times.
Alexander left it short. Georgia Tech can cut it to 2 or even 1 with a 3. Gay, backdoor cut. And pass led him a little bit too far. Alvarado will reset with 10 on the shot clock.
Alvarado doing a nice job of getting to the basket.
Alvarado launches a 3, and there's Walker, a rebound in traffic. Good looking freshman Derek Walker.
Yeah, giving him good minutes. You wonder for Coach Rick Barnes how long before he brings Grant Williams back in this basketball game as well, as they hold on to this 4-point lead.
Still sitting on the bench with those 3 fouls. Schofield on the bench with 4. And a reach-in foul that time on Haywood.
We talked about teams cutting well. Tennessee as well as Georgia Tech, they do a nice job of using those screens, not just cutting off of them. They don't leave you much room in between for the defender to get through. And that's why you had that foul.
Georgia Tech 17 fouls, Tennessee with 10. So the bonus going both ways the rest of the way for the final 6:26. Clutch free throw there by Lamonte Turner, who has 12.
Yeah, about 83% from the charity stripe. And that's something that Coach Rick Barnes has been trying to get Grant Williams to really concentrate on, is improving his free throw shooting as a guy that gets fouled quite often.
Schofield back into the game with those 4 fouls. Neither team has really been able to separate from one another. Closely contested game for the most part since the opening tip. Alvarado showing off the handle. Lammers back to Alvarado on the backdoor cut. That play has been gold for Georgia Tech.
Well, they know Tennessee likes to extend their pressure defensively, and they're using that against them. Tennessee's got to learn to watch ball and man and turn their hand. Outstanding job by the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Who do the Vols go to here? Turner wants a ball screen, gets it from Alexander. Goes up top, Schofield will launch. Brick City did not hit the rim. Shot clock down to 1, and a jump ball called, and it'll be Georgia Tech ball.
I know it's just December, but these teams both going after the basketball like their life depends on it, realizing the importance of non-conference signature wins.
Here. Alston into front court. 4-point game. Lammers has had it. The hot hand. How about another 3? Not that time. Yellow Jackets board it.
Don't mind that look. If you're Georgia Tech right now, Lammers has been hot, but with Grant Williams outside of the game, I'd try to go right at Kyle Alexander inside.
Inside it goes. Skip pass out of the corner. Inside to Lammers.
There it is. Can't finish. Good defense by Kyle Alexander.
Tennessee up 4 with the basketball. Bowden finds Schofield. Schofield ice cold.
I've never seen Tennessee rush this much. Offense has been off the entire night. Give credit. Josh Pastner said it's in their DNA, and you can see it. Georgia Tech doing an outstanding job defensively.
Tennessee has not made a field goal in 5 minutes. They're up 4.
MLS Cup, Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN.
They say you don't choose the app. The app chooses you. It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
Everybody say Warriors. Warriors. Everybody say Warriors. Warriors.
The 9-2 Steelers have been living up to the standard.
Do your job today. We do it together. We are an unstoppable force.
And once again look like AFC title contenders.
Let's go. Don't blink. I ain't blinking. Don't you blink.
The Killer Bees go for their 7th straight win as they take on A.J. Green and their division rivals in the Queen City. Monday Night Football, Steelers, Bengals, tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Powerful light, powerful darkness.
On December 15th,
Fulfill your destiny.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi, rated PG-13.
Sweep. Technically, it's just a trim, the do-over, the dang done, the nose nip, the neck notch, the around the ear edge over, the taper, the tweed, the touch-up, and the total takedown. For any man and every man maintenance mission, cultivate the confidence. Be the man. Conair Man.
Get unlimited data for $25 a month when you add a line to the Cricket Unlimited 2 plan. Plus, get a free smartphone when you switch. All on a network that covers over 99% of Americans. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
Some news and notes around the Southeastern Conference. 3 SEC teams right now in the top 10. First time in 6 years that has happened. Texas A&M with another big win over Southern Cal, and the SEC Player of the Week, Mike White, has himself a good one in Jalen Hudson.
Yeah, he does, and he's surrounded by some other snipers. Kulichov can shoot it, Kayvon Allen, and they have a tremendous general on the floor in Chris Chioza playing outstanding basketball right now. And of those 3 teams in the top 10, you got a couple of veterans, Texas A&M and Florida, and then the unprecedented youth at Kentucky.
Todrick Jackson, the lefty, with a strong take. He's got 12, and it's a 2-point game, and a quick timeout call by Rick Barnes. That didn't take a long time.
Well, nice job of Josh Pastner out of the timeout. Tremendous execution, and I like the timeout call as well.
How about some news and notes around the ACC? 2 of the better leagues in college basketball this year. They've got 6 ranked in the top 25. Virginia winning a game without a free throw. I don't know if I've ever seen it. Not even a free throw attempt And, of course, Marvin Bagley, a man-child over there in Durham.
Well, when Coach K says you're the most unique player he's ever coached that can guard all 5 positions, I think it's subject close. He's pretty good. But Grayson Allen still playing like a guy on a mission. And then you look at Coach Roy Jones, right? He was held to the second lowest 45 points against Michigan State. But I still think that team has an opportunity to get to the Final Four. Would be Coach Roy Jones' 3rd in a row.
406.
Roy Williams. You let me say Roy Jones. You gonna let me say that on the air?
I wasn't going to correct you just yet. I knew it was going to happen.
I do like Roy Jones, big time boxer. Roy, I'm sorry for listening. You know my heart's in the right place. Charge to my head and not my heart.
You're a big fan of the fight game. I'm with you. Under 4 to play.
I said good stuff though, right?
Yes, you did. Turner. Under 10 to shoot. Big possession for Tennessee. Turner on a pull-up from 16. Nothing but net.
Big shot. Did I tell you he wants the basketball with the game on the line?
And he's got 15. Haywood angles it inside. Lammers on Alexander, draws the foul. That's a matchup that's been entertaining to watch from the opening tip. Ben Lammers against the great shot blocker Kyle Alexander.
Well, when the game's on the line, you go where your bread is buttered, and I love it because he's not shying away from the contact. Frustrated with himself, he wanted to get an opportunity for a 3-point play, but I'd go to him the rest of the basketball game.
The foul trouble continues for Tennessee. That's the 4th foul on Alexander. You've got 3 fouls on Grant Williams. You got 4 fouls on Admiral Schofield. So attrition could be a key factor in the final 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Lammers, meanwhile, will settle for 1 for 2. Lammers 16 points, 8 rebounds.
Grambling State, 1-possession game. Northwestern, 1-possession game, and we're at a 1-possession game again here with Georgia Tech.
Williams takes it strong, fires up an air ball, and it will be out of bounds to Tennessee. Josh Pastner, I mean, he's aware of ratings. He wants to have close games, higher ratings for television. We appreciate that, Josh. Always looking out.
This is a Georgia Tech type game right now.
And a nice rebound, and if that's Williams, that would be his 4th. I beg your pardon, that's his 5th, so he is done. Grant Williams just fouled out of this game with 2:59 to play. Schofield has 4, Alexander has 4, and now your Tennessee, you got to play without your top scorer and top rebounder.
Tough break here on the road, and they struggled against Villanova when Grant Williams wasn't really available to get as many shots as well. And now we talked about the quality and depth of Tennessee. We're going to see who steps up here on the road. And for Georgia Tech, another tremendous advantage that you have here at home with this crowd behind you.
Clutch free throws by the freshman Curtis Haywood, who has 12, and we have a 1-point game in Atlanta. And a foul on the Yellow Jackets, a holding foul. And that'll lead to a 1-and-1.
Michael Stevens and Coach Rick Barnes at the other end still having dialogue about that foul. 2 very important free throws here.
That incidentally is the 4th foul on Haywood. 3 players on the floor with 4 fouls. And a clutch free throw by Lamonte Turner. He's got 16 points to lead the way.
Gay and Kyle Alexander tripping over one another. 2 guys, good size, good height, but not a lot of weight on either one of them. Well, that's huge. Now, if you're Georgia Tech right now, Lammers has been knocking down 3-pointers today, but the guy I'm looking for is Alvarado, a big 3-pointer late in the basketball game against Grambling State. Actually, I believe he had 4 in that second half. Watch and see if he gets open to try to hit him with the dagger this time.
Lammers throws one wildly. Reeled in nicely that time by Alston. Here's a deep three on the way, and a rebound for Alexander.
Nice chest move. Coach Rick Barnes goes to a 2-3 zone. Georgia Tech comes up short.
10th rebound of the game for Alexander. 3-point lead for Tennessee coming up on the 2-minute mark. Jump pass inside Schofield, carving out some space, and a whistle down low, and that foul will be on Alston. Tennessee back to the free throw line. Schofield has had a tough night at the office shooting the basketball, but he's been solid at the free throw line this year at 85% and knocks that one down.
When you watch teams that you want to pick at the end of the year, always look at those teams who have guys who can knock down free throws. When March Madness comes, when those conference tournaments come, even when conference play, they're the difference in winning basketball games and losing them.
5-point cushion for the Volunteers. Alvarado, pump fake, now he'll jack a three. Left it short, Alexander another rebound. That's 11 caroms for the junior.
He rushed it, Mike. He rushed it. He wanted the three-point shot. He wanted to take the big shot, but he could have got a better look. They didn't move the 2-3 zone of Tennessee enough.
Bowden angles it into Schofield, 8 to shoot. Baseline jumper, no, but they fouled him. Oh, a Schofield making it look easy at the free throw line. Hits 4 in a row. He's got 10, and the lead is 7.
Tennessee trying to make it look like a 1-3-1 zone, but it's a 2-3-1 or a 2-3, just a 1-1-3.
Lammers out of a double. Inside, Alvarado to Lammers. Lammers missed it, got it back, and a block foul on Tennessee. And if that's on Alexander, he's out. Yep, that'll be number 5 on Alexander. So Tennessee has now had its top 2 post players foul out of this game.
Well, I don't think we're in jeopardy of having any type of 3-on-5 like Alabama versus Minnesota, but we are losing quite a few players in this basketball game.
Avery Johnson's on speed dial for any coach that has to play with less than 5 players on the floor. Just call Avery up.
How about that 40-point performance by Colin Sexton? Even though he didn't play great today in their loss against Central Florida, I think he's one of the best point guards in the SEC.
Lammers knocks down the first. 17 points for the senior out of San Antonio. And then Schofield lost it out of bounds. He had the rebound and just lost it on his own.
Well, we talked about the importance of free throws. A rebound is pretty important too. A nice job by Gay, even attempting a lesson learned for young players. You got to go up and get it with 2 hands, not 1.
Haywood takes it strong and then had nowhere to go with it. Turnover at a critical spot and a quick foul. That is a freshman mistake.
Yeah, a freshman mistake, but more of a frustration foul than anything. You notice that so many times amongst not only young players, but any type of player, the competitiveness that's inside of each person that drives you. When you come up short, you have a tendency to come back and foul.
And to remind those of you getting ready to tune in to West Virginia, Texas A&M, that game will start on ESPN News. In the meantime, we are here in Atlanta. Mike Morgan, Damian Fishback with 1:05 to go. Tennessee up by 7. And Bowden knocks down the free throws. Georgia Tech needs something good to happen in a hurry.
Well, they don't need a 3, though. They need something quick. Both teams have been fouling. Do something going to the rim, but it's going to be tough against this 2-3 zone.
A prayer hoisted up there by Jackson. And now here comes Tennessee the other way. Turner!
Oh!
It hung on the rim for a good 3 seconds.
Well, you couldn't have drawn it up any better than this if you were Coach Rick Barnes. You're on the road. Turner does a nice job of focusing, and look at the emotion. They know how important this basketball game is. And you can see the emotion on Jackson's face.
It's like waiting for a putt to finally roll in the cup. Tennessee in good shape. That's a must-needed bucket right there. A slam by Todrick Jackson to cut it to 9, 41.8 on the clock.
A long time left in this basketball game. That's the right mindset by Georgia Tech now. Instead of coming down and launching threes, extend this basketball game. 41.8 seconds left to go. You've got to get stopped. See if you can turn Tennessee over in the backcourt. If not, go to the rim.
This will be another quality win for Tennessee, who already has defeated Purdue and NC State away from home. They've got North Carolina coming up. Remember, they had the Tar Heels beaten last year in Chapel Hill.
They did.
At Wake Forest, and then the conference starts. Conference play starts on December the 30th. They'll be in Fayetteville. Rick Barnes really continuing to build up the resume if they can somehow walk out of here with a victory. Meanwhile, for Georgia Tech, Heartbreak Hotel against Grambling. This will be a tough loss at home, and no rest for the weary. December the 19th, a big one against a Georgia team that Mark Fox right now has a squad in Athens that looks like an NCAA tournament team.
Well, you have a guy like Yante Maten, preseason All-SEC selection and Player of the Year. You know, he's coming back. I think the career active leader in points, rebounds, almost everything. But they also have some complementary players that are stepping up. Crump's doing a nice job of knocking down the perimeter jump shot. Turtle Jackson playing well, as well as Ogbede on the interior. Have tremendous freshmen. It will be an outstanding matchup and a rivalry game between Tech and Georgia. But we've got a nice one here tonight.
This was a 2-point game just a minute or two ago. Tennessee, meanwhile, on a 10-3 run. And now free throws. And to go back to your earlier point, this is where Tennessee can excel. They have a number of players that are very efficient at the free throw line.
Oh, and right now you need some help, frankly, right? If you're Georgia Tech and Coach Josh Pastner, you have 11 underclassmen. So win or lose, this is good experience for this young team. You're down 9. You're at home. Still got the crowd behind you. How do you see if you can claw your way back into this basketball game?
21 points now for the redshirt sophomore out of Florence, Alabama, Lamonte Turner.
Well, he is a young man that can score points in bunches. When he's hot, he's extremely hot, and he has a ton of confidence to go with it.
Alvarado, open three. Exactly what Georgia Tech needed. A turnover would certainly help, but instead a foul with 28.4 on the clock. I mean, you just have to hope that somehow Tennessee, who has been very good at the free throw line today, 17 of 19. That's good for 89.5%. You got to hope that somehow they'll start bricking a few here.
Whew. Tremendous focus at the charity stripe by this volunteer team. It really gives you an example of how you compete to win games on the road. And you mentioned that free throw percentage, so I'm going to put that jinxing Jordan Bone on you, partner.
Well, he made the first. I feel confident. If they're good free throw shooters, I don't worry about jinxing them. They shoot 62%, I'm worried. There you go, 2 for 2. 9-point lead. Alvarado on another three. And Alvarado connects.
I told you. There's a lot of guys that you can leave open on that Georgia Tech team. Alvarado's not one of them.
And he's a young man as a freshman who already has taken a number of clutch shots. He is not bashful in this situation. Now here's Georgia Tech hanging around, down by 6. Again, if Tennessee can pull this off, they'd improve to 6-1 with wins against Purdue, NC State, and Georgia Tech, all away from home.
Well, I've been telling people for about 2 weeks now that I feel like this Tennessee team is a top 25 team, picked 13th in the SEC. And there's a ton of good teams across the country. But this Georgia Tech win, it won't look great initially, but watch as Georgia Tech continues to go through conference play. They're going to do just like they did last year, surprise some teams in conference and continue to improve.
Tennessee is making some noise, and my goodness, why in the world would you foul Todrick Jackson there? Jordan Bowden is going to stop the clock. Yeah, I'm with you, Coach Barnes, and give him 3 free throws.
Well, Coach Rick Barnes is the type that really gets frustrated with all of this. We talked about him being a comical guy and a prankster, but this is something that he'll go in the film room and he'll replay and he'll replay it and replay it again and again.
Keep in mind, Tennessee has had to play the final couple of minutes here without 2 of their top players, Grant Williams, Kyle Alexander, both fouling out. But when they needed the guards to step up, they did. Yeah, there's Grant Williams, who had another fine performance today. But when he fouled out, it was Lamonte Turner who really took control of this game.
Well, for Georgia Tech right now, they can keep their heads held high regardless of the outcome. They had plenty of opportunities where they could have given up, but they were relentless in continuing to fight, did a nice job of changing defenses, and had a very good offensive team in Tennessee struggle for the majority of the game.
And it's worth repeating, when they get Josh Okogie back, that's their top scorer. They will have a different look on offense for sure. They're playing shorthanded, and at times offensively, they just struggle to score points.
Sure. 18 more points that you add to this basketball game, not only for himself, but making other players better as well.
You see Josh Okogie still nursing that finger injury. They hope to have him back for the start of conference play.
Shambari Phillips transfer
from
to
Tennessee.
The right of him from Tennessee, who I think is going to be an outstanding addition for Coach Josh Passman. He said, we want to get older. If you don't get a ton of 5-star players, McDonald's All-Americans like the Dukes and Kentuckys, North Carolinas, then you have to get older in these power conferences like the ACC and the SEC.
24 points for Lamonte Turner. That ties his career high. He's been terrific. That guy's been terrific here, but maybe too little too late for Alvarado, who's just draining threes left and right. That'll just prolong the inevitable at this point. As Tennessee a 6-point lead with 2.3 seconds left. The Volunteers are going to improve to 6-1 on the year.
You mentioned their upcoming schedule. Obviously North Carolina with Luke May and Joe Barry at the point guard, a veteran like Theo Pinson. That will be a tough matchup, as well as Wake Forest. I had them last night. Raul Moore growing ever so quickly. Coach Danny Manning has that program turned around and wants to get his team back to the NCAA.
So long for now.
We'd like to welcome those of you joining us now on ESPNU. Kara Capuano along with Tulane sharpshooter Christy Thomas-Cuddy in College Station on a Sunday night. An outstanding day of women's basketball, and the nightcap, this top 20 matchup between the home team number 18 Texas A&M and number 11 West Virginia. It's been a scoring surplus for both squads so far, Christy.
I love it. I love to see the pace. Now I love to see the matchup. I love to see just the technical aspect between two Hall of Fame coaches as they are trying to take away the strengths of each team. And unfortunately for both, it hasn't really worked because our players came to play tonight.
Aggies shooting 50%, 7 of 14 from the floor. West Virginia 7 of 13. They opened 2 for 8, Christy, and they're 5 of 5 from the floor since are the Mountaineers in navy blue. Aggies back to work. Feeding it into Kyla Hillsman has worked well for Texas A&M so far. 0-0, the senior with a significant size advantage in this matchup.
As a head coach, I think it's very difficult when you give up size to play straight behind because you're just hoping she misses. It gives you a better rebounding position, but you're going to give up scoring opportunities.
The block on the perimeter from Ray.
Ray wanted the ball. She was ready to get out and run.
Howard with the hands to knock it away. 3